So welcome back guys. The topic of our discussion is asthma. Asthma is basically a obstructive disease and where this airway obstruction is reversible. And we know that as far as this asthma is concerned, depending upon the age of the person, we can have different spectrums of these disorders or obstructive kind of disorders. Generally, when the person is less than 18 years or in the childhood, there are more commonly allergies than atopy and eczema. Beyond 18 years, it is most commonly in the adult life athletic asthma. And 60-65 years beyond, it is basically a spectrum of COPD. So a lot of the things have to do with the age of the patient and the way in which the patient will be presenting. So they ask you, as far as MCQs are concerned, which is the most common allergen worldwide? Most common allergen worldwide. So it is the house dust mite. Which is what we call as dermatophagodra. Dermatophagodra. This is the dust mite. Then obviously we know that pollens are also there. This pollen leads to an asthma that is called as thunderstorm asthma. So thunderstorm asthma is primarily caused by the pollens. Then classifying the asthma traditionally have been classified into two major categories. They are called as the extrinsic asthma and the intrinsic asthma. This extrinsic asthma is also called as atopic asthma, and intrinsic is a non-atopic asthma. Generally, this extrinsic asthma is caused by allergy, inflammation, then there is IgE production. But the intrinsic asthma is not basically mediated by the typical process. So in this we have generally a local IgE production. As this is a non-atopic process. So this is a type of asthma where the IgE levels, when we do, they come out to be normal. And when we do the typical skin test for the allergy, that is also normal in these patients. So these are the special types of asthma, that is extrinsic and the intrinsic type, depending upon the mechanisms that are causing the disease. Now coming to the basic pathology or the basic features that these asthma has. So some of the basic pathology, it is causing three very important things. Number one, it is causing inflammation. Number two, there is bronchoconstriction. And number three is airway hyperresponsiveness. So this inflammation that is caused in the asthma is a special type of inflammation that is basically predisposing the patients to a unique feature, that is airway hyperresponsiveness. And how these basic pathological features they occur, we will see. So what we have is, we know the respiratory epithelium over a long period of time, because of chronic inflammation and hyperreactivity, release of certain mediators, get molded into certain ways. So what we have is, we know that our respiratory epithelium is a pseudo stratified columnar epithelia, and in this pseudo stratified columnar epithelia, in between we have these specialized cells that are called as the mucus secreting goblet cells. So we have these epithelia, and in this there is this goblet cell. Now what happens that because of this goblet cell, there is one important feature. This goblet cell releases mucus, and this mucus forms a layer onto the epithelium. So this epithelium is surrounded by this goblet cell that is secreting the mucus. Now what happens that in asthma, there is increased number of eosinophils that come into this mucus layer. So not only there is goblet cell hyperplasia, so there is goblet hyperplasia, and along with that we have eosinophils in the mucus. Then if you look into the lamina propria, or the layer of lamina propria, which is later on followed by the smooth muscle. So these are the smooth muscle cells. Or the bronchial smooth muscles. So what we have is that there is, apart from goblet hyperplasia, there is smooth muscle hyperplasia. Smooth muscle hyperplasia. Then what do these patients have? They have, as a result of this allergic process, these specialized cells that are present in the area what we call as lamina propria. So this is lamina propria. So this lamina propria has two very important cells. Number one, it has the it has the neutrophils, and number two, it has those specialized cells that we call as the mast cells. So in the lamina propria we have mast cells. So there is mast cells, there is neutrophils that have come up into this lamina propria. And how do they come up? We have to understand the basic pathological feature or pathophysiological mechanisms that are ultimately leading to this asthma. So we know that, guys, we have to understand that this asthma is basically a T helper cell response. It's a TH response in which the T helper cell is stimulated, and we know that this T helper cell, when stimulated, leads to two types of response. Number one, this T helper cell response will lead to what is called as TH1 response. And what does this TH1 response causes? It increases the cell mediated immunity. Increases the cell mediated immunity. Then there is elaboration of the other group of cytokines that we call as the TH2 response. And this TH2 response is basically upregulated. So there is an upregulation in patients who are prone to asthma, or there is upregulation in sensitized individuals. So this TH2 response, we know that our immunity consists of different types of cells, and one of the important cell that is concerning with immunity is an antigen presenting cell. And this antigen presenting cell will bring along with that antigen, when it is attached to the pollen or the dust, when the antigen is there, it upregulates the humoral immunity. So there is upregulation of this TH2 response. So what is this TH2 response? Guys, this TH2 response is in three forms. Number one, this TH2 response, there is release of three important mediators. Number one, there is release of interleukin 5. Number two, there is a release of interleukin 13 and interleukin 4. And number three, there is a release of interleukin 9. These are the three important interleukins or three important TH2 mediators that are released, giving rise to the different manifestations of the allergy or important manifestations of asthma. We know that the interleukin 5, it is basically a stimulator that increases eosinophil production. So there is increased amount of eosinophil production in the bone marrow. Then this interleukin 13 and interleukin 4, they stimulate the plasma cells, and these plasma cells go on to form more and more IgE antibodies.